Guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Logan, and I'm born and raised here in the state of Alaska, living in South Central Alaska now. Just moved here a few years ago from Southeast Alaska, which is where I'm from, and I've been hunting my entire life. This is just a gear review of what I like to take on my hunts. This stems from questions you guys have had, so I've just taken this time in January to answer them. Starting with underwear, just polyester. These are Patagonias. I usually bring a few pairs of these on my multi-day hunts, and usually just one pair on my day hunts. You never know. So that's that. For shirts, I like Smart Wool. They make some really good high-quality merino wool, and I've had these for, over 5 years now. Yeah, they get a few holes in them, but they still work just fine. They don't give off the scent like a polyester would. You could wear this for a week, and you wouldn't even tell. Wouldn't even know it. So the merino wool is the way to go, especially for the longer multi-day hunts. Highly recommend it. For pants, I really like these Prana Stretch Zion pants. They come in a multitude of colors. I really like earthy colors, of course. I don't necessarily wear camouflage, not that I have anything against it, but I just don't think it's necessary. As long as you have earth colors, you're playing the wind right, you should be able to get close to animals. A lot of my sheep and goats that I've shot have been all within 50 yards, some with a bow, some with a rifle. But yeah, these Stretch Zion pants are great. I usually bring a few pairs of those, and they're only 30 or 40 bucks online. They're not too much. For mid layers, I'm a big fan of Teryx stuff. Their quality has gone down a little bit in recent years, to be honest. I've only had this shirt a little over a year, and it's already starting to get some wear and tear on it. I do hunt hard, but this is still not bad. It's a synthetic blend that they use here. The nice thing about it has a hood. You can zip it all the way up to your face, and it's just a great mid layer. So even if it gets wet, it's still going to retain some warmth, and it's good all-around jacket. Kind of cuts the wind a little bit as well. Further out for the longer hunts that I do, especially in the cold weather, even in August in the Brooks Range, I'm bringing a down jacket with me. Yeah, it could be 80 degrees when we get up there and we land, but the next day it might be snowing. We've seen it before. And this is just a Mountain Hardwear down jacket. Works really well. Don't know the exact model, but boy, it's just a parka. So any kind of down jacket you have is fine, as long as it's lightweight and it's a good color. Hat and gloves. Always bring a hat and gloves, even in August, even in Southeast. You never know. It's always good to have it. This is just a wool hat that I like to bring along. It's an Everest Designs. They're made in Nepal, and it's just 100% wool. Works really well, and these strings on each side tend to suck the moisture away from your head, and you could wring them out. So it does keep you warm, even if it's soaking wet. Wool is my preference. For mitts, I like these 3-fingered gloves. They're kind of hard to find these days. I don't know if there's any hunting brands making them, but 3-fingered gloves are fantastic, especially when you're shooting with a rifle. You still get the trigger finger. But these are just some Swiss wool inside of these guys, and Ortovox is the brand. I think it's a skiing brand. But 3-fingered mitts, man, I love them. They're hard to find, but man, if you can get a pair, highly recommend them. Another pair of gloves I like to bring are these rubber insulated gloves. There's a lot of different brands that make them now, but they are 100% waterproof. They are wonderful on the rainy hunts. Just throwing these guys on, even if it's 50 degrees out, it's good to have a pair of gloves that are going to keep your hands dry and stay dry. These are great for that. This is usually something I leave in camp. This is a Patagonia down vest. I've had it since 2007, and it's held up really well. So it's just a nice thing to throw on top over the mid layers, especially if you're hanging out in camp and it gets a little chilly at night. Not something I always bring in my pack on, but it's something I'll certainly leave in camp, leave at the airplane, whatever it may be. I love these Mountain Hardwear down pants. They are very thin, very light. They are brittle. They certainly can break. They have tears in them already. I just patch them with some duct tape or some tenacious tape, but having a pair of down pants is money when you're sitting there glassing for hours and hours. So whatever you can find, there's a lot of brands making these now. Man, they're comfortable. So definitely get a pair if you're planning to head to the Brooks Range or come to Alaska and sit behind the glass for a few hours. Moving into rain gear, I have an Teryx Beta AR rain jacket. I've had this guy for years. It's very lightweight, very durable. I did get a tear in it a few years ago on a goat hunt. Just patched it with some tenacious tape, and was good to go. I still use it, and works well to keep the moisture out. I just have had good luck with these outdoor brands. I know the hunting gear is getting a lot better now. Kuiu makes great stuff. First Light Maker makes great stuff. I just have had luck with the outdoor brands, so that's kind of what I've been sticking to. Definitely not set on it by any means, but hey, it's what's worked for me. So, moving into rain pants, I have used a few different models over the years. These are First Lights, and the nice thing about these guys is they zip from the bottom to the top. So if you have your boots on and you're out hiking, you have your pack on, all you have to do is drop your pack, pull these guys out of your pack, and just throw them on over your boots, and then you're good to go. They have some bibs as well, which I'm a big fan of bibs. These just kind of have a little bit of everything. So I think these are the Storm Shelter rain pants. But man, nice job, First Light. I really like those pants. They've been pretty great. This is my first pair of Kuiu stuff right here. I just have the Gators. I don't know if there's a specific brand or model number under them, but man, Kuiu Gators have been great. They just are nice for crossing rivers, and they're nice and snug, and they've held up pretty well. I've had these for a few years now, probably have them for a few more. So, Kuiu Gators. For socks, darn tough, man. They're the way to go. I've never had another pair of socks that held up like a Darn Tough. I've had Smart Wools, I've had Filsons, whatever it may be. Darn Toughs are the best. They make them in Vermont. They're wool socks. They fit well, and they hold up. So I usually bring 4 or 5 pairs of these guys, and usually have an extra pair in my pack just for a day hunt in case my feet get soaking wet. For the longer, colder hunts later in the season or even in August in the Brooks Range, I really like these Patagonia. They're a synthetic blend of polyester, but I'd probably like to upgrade to some wool at some point. Just haven't made the plunge yet, but these Patagonias are nice, good long johns, and good way to keep you warm. So I like these pants. Let me do that over again. Action. For long johns, I'm a fan of these Patagonias. They're synthetic. I've had these things for close to 20 years now. They hold up really well. They're starting to get a few holes in them, get a little worn out, so I'll probably upgrade to some wool at some point. But anything you can get for long johns for the late season hunts, especially in the Brooks Range in August, nice to have a pair of long johns. Moving on to sleep systems, I have really enjoyed this Xped Sinmat UL. It is a very lightweight, packable mat, and it has some nice baffling and some down in there as well to keep you insulated on the colder nights. I've had this thing for 7-8 years now, and it's held up well. There's a little patch kit in there in case you get a flat. But man, high quality Xped is the way to go in my opinion. For sleeping bags, I just have a Marmot sleeping bag. It's a 15-degree down bag, and it's worked really well. As you can see, it packs down really tight, which I like. 15 degrees, kind of that good zone for me, kind of the time of year I hunt. If I'm hunting later in the season, generally I'm going to be staying at a cabin, something like that, or a hot tent, so this works just fine. So any kind of bag you get down, just make sure you're keeping it dry, because if this thing gets soaking wet, you're screwed. For tent, I've been using a lot of different tents over the years, but Mountain Hardwares have always been good to me. So I use this Nimbus one-person tent. It's just shy of 2 pounds. It is not going to hold up in some heavy winds. You're going to want to put this thing down in the willows, down in the trees, get out of the wind if you can, build a rock wall, whatever it is. But I've never had it collapse on me yet. It's light, and it's a good trade-off for me. Also, keeps you dry. Now, the most important piece of equipment you take hunting is your boots. Do not skimp on your boots. These are Scarpa Grand Drews. I think it's a $500 pair of boots, but man, they're nice. There's a little bit of a break-in period. I got some custom insoles as well. Highly recommend these boots. Boots are very subjective, but whatever you get, make sure you get some good Vibram soles, stiff ankle support, and something that works for you. Do not buy brand new boots to go hunting. It might not work out for you. So they work really well. Scarpas have been great for me. Combination with these guys, what I like to use for gripping the tundra, the alpine, in the wet conditions are micro spikes. Kuiu makes them. There's a lot of different brands that make them now. They have a rubber over the top of them and then some metal spikes on the bottom, and you can just slip them over the top of your boots, and even in the wet tundra, wet alpine, give you that grip and peace of mind. You're not going to go slipping and sliding. So I highly recommend that. For camp stove, I'm using this MSR wind burner. It's a 1.8 liter. There is no igniter with it, so you have to bring a lighter. I usually bring 2 or 3 of those just cheap Bic lighters. They work just fine. But this thing's been super reliable, worked well, and man, I've never had any issues with it. Now for the good stuff here. This is my rifle. It's a Tikka T3X 300 Win Mags. It's a fully stainless rifle. They come in around $1,000. This is just the full stock model. There's nothing fancy about it. It's reliable, it's accurate, it's light. I don't know what else you'd want in a mountain rifle. Yeah, you could spend a lot of money and get something that might be a little bit better, but for me, I'm not taking 500 plus yard shots. 300 Win Mag is a really, really good caliber. It could take down a charging brown bear, and it could drop any game you want in the state. So it's I'm a big fan of that. The scope is a Leupold VX3i, 4.5 by 14 power, and I've got these Butler scope caps on them. And the one thing with these scope caps is if it's raining outside, you will get moisture inside of your scope. So a pro tip is just take a little bit of toilet paper or paper towel and just put a little bit in there, and that'll absorb the moisture and keep your scope from fogging up on you. I also like to get a little bit of electrical tape and wrap a band around the barrel and then put a little bit over the tip here, and that keeps the barrel safe from, you know, if you're walking with your rifle and you fall, jamming it in the dirt and screwing yourself over. So good rifle, good round. I have a drop table on the back as well for whatever bullet I'm using. Lately I've been using Federal Power Shop, just the cheap blue box stuff. It works fine. I really like that, but I'm gonna try a few different rounds and see if I can find something that gets a little bit better accuracy. But this year I think I'm mostly going to be bow hunting. For the bow hunters out there, it's a Matthews Triax. They manufactured this bow in 2018. It's a short axle to axle bow. It's around 4.5 pounds bare bow, and it's been a nice solid bow for me. I'm taking it on goat hunts, deer hunts, sheep hunts, and I have this nice Spot Hog 3-pin sight. It's a movable sight. Man, it's been a great bow. For the release, I really like the True Fire releases, and it's more like a rifle trigger to me. I'm not a fan of the hinge releases, but man, to each his own. Whatever works for you, whatever you're accurate with, stick with it. For arrows, lately I've been using a 550 grain Easton Axis arrow. This year I'm going to something a little lighter to get a little bit more range, and this is a Victory VAP 350. It's a stainless wrapped arrow, and the total weight on it is around 450 grains. So I get a little more speed. For broadheads, I'm a fan of Annihilator fixed blade broadheads. The Annihilators seem to work really well, and you know, mechanical broadheads, in my opinion, just have more failure points. I'm a fan of simplicity, so that's why I've been using this. But Matthews makes a great bow, and I may upgrade to a different Matthews at some point just to get a longer axle to axle for some of the more open long range shots. But this bow's worked well for me. I got it for kind of hunting in the Southeast Alaska area, more or less, going through all the brush. Sticking this on the back of a pack is a lot easier to swallow than putting on a big 34 axle to axle bow. So anyway, Matthews makes good stuff. For pistol, when I'm bow hunting, I always carry my Glock 10mm. This is just a stock Glock. It's like $600, and I use some 200 grain rounds for it. So it's a good backup. Haven't had to use it on any bears yet, but man, it's a good peace of mind when you're walking through the brush and know you have a gun right in your chest that can drop a bear if you need to. Now, this is the holster for it. This is Gunfighters Inc. I think it's their Kenai. I've seen lots of different guys in the backwoods using these, and they're very reliable. It's a Kydex kind of mount here, but it works well. It could fit underneath a bino harness, and you hardly know it's there. So, and it holds your pistol really well. And I've never had my pistol fall out or have any issues with it. So, highly recommend that. Now, going into the glass that I like to use, Vortex has been the name of the game for me. I've never been able to afford a Swarovski, but Vortex is the next second best in my opinion. There's a lot of other brands out there that are making great glass now, but this is the Razor HD 16 by 48. It's kind of their mid-level scope, and you strap a phone scope to this thing, you could zoom in pretty well on a ram or a goat and get an idea of what you're looking at. So this is what I use for that. Vortex tripod as well. This is the Summit Carbon 2. Had a few issues with it over the years. Some of these things backing out on me. I might apply some Loctite this year to make sure that doesn't happen. But overall, Vortex, the warranty with it, the quality, it's pretty hard to beat in my opinion. They make really good products and they stand behind them and they'll support you all the way. For binos, you guys are gonna laugh at me. These are just Vortex Vanquish binos. I think they're a $100 pair of binos, but they're really, really lightweight and the glass is pretty good. I will probably upgrade these before next season, but overall, I've been very happy with these guys. I've had them for 5 years, taken them on all my sheep hunts. They work well. It's a 10 by 26 power, and it just goes to show you don't need the best to get out and do this stuff. Most of the work that you need to do is physically and mentally to make a sheep hunt work or a goat hunt, whatever it may be. But you know, having good gear certainly helps, but these have been very reliable. I've never had a single problem with them, and they're nice and light. Moving into the rangefinder category, I've been using this Vortex Razor HD 4000. Boy, it's fantastic. I've had some different models of rangefinders over the years, but this one works really well for bow hunting, rifle hunting, whatever it may be. It's light, it's reliable. The battery in it, I've not had to replace it yet, and there's still plenty of battery life with it. So Vortex, again, they make a great product. All right, bino harness. This is the newest addition to my hunting setup. I've never hunted with a bino harness, but now that I'm doing a little bit more bow hunting, I see the allure of it and the attraction. This is just from Eberly stock, I think that's how you say it, but they have made a really high quality bino harness. It fits over top of my chest holster for my pistol. Throw the binos in the center, rangefinder on the side, and then usually have a headlamp or an inReach over here. So they make a great product. It's fairly inexpensive. I've been happy with it. I've used it once, so take that with a grain of salt, but man, seems to be pretty good. Mentioned the inReach, so here we go. I take an inReach with me on all my hunts. This is just the DeLorme model. I think I got it off eBay for 120 bucks or something. Still Bluetooth to your phone, and you can send messages out, hit that SOS button if you need to. Luckily, I haven't had to do that yet. Hope I never do, but if I do, it's right here. And it's a great peace of mind in the backcountry. Now, once you finally get to the animal, you knock down your trophy sheep, one you've been dreaming about for years. Now it's time to pack up the meat. And it's probably my favorite part of hunting is just pulling that meat off the animal, putting it in your pack and carrying it back to camp. And then bringing it home and sharing it with the family. I use these Tag game bags, and they make them here in the state of Alaska. Pristine Hunting Adventures is the company. Tag technologically advanced game bags. And I've had this same pair for 5 years now. You just wash them, reuse them. It's a very thick nylon, and they work really well. Multiple different sizes for different animals. If you're going for caribou, if you're going for sheep. I think this is the caribou bundle here. But I have a couple different models of these guys. Now, in addition to the game bag, I just got this last year and started using it more and more. It's from Stone Glacier, and it's essentially just to hold it's a dry bag that you hold all your game bags in. So you're able to stuff everything in there, put it on top of your load shelf in your pack, and then off you go. So it really, really is great. Keeps all the game bags, all the meat, especially if you're deboning. It packs it all in a nice tight package and keeps it all contained, nothing falling out. I've hunted for years without something like this, and it's always a pain. A game bag falls out and I have to go find it or whatever it may be. So this is a nice thing to keep that together. For backpacks, I am a Stone Glacier fan. Whatever backpack you use is going to be just fine, but Stone Glacier works well. It's a good hunting pack. Any pack with a load shelf, highly recommend it. I hunted for years with just a normal Gregory backpacking backpack. The problem with those is they don't have a load shelf, so all that weight when you stuff a sheep in there, stuff a goat in there, it all drops to the bottom and sits on your low back, and it sucks. So this keeps the weight a little bit higher on your shoulders where the weight should be, and it works really well. A lot of different pockets. This is the Sky Guide 79 or 7800, and it packs down small enough for day hunts, or it expands almost infinitely for multi-day hunts, and you can fit as much as you can carry. I've carried loads probably close to 200 pounds in this sucker, and man, it's a good pack. So Stone Glacier makes really good stuff. Really happy with it. Now for meat processing, Havalon, just the way to go in my opinion. Nice and light, interchangeable blades. Usually carry a dozen blades with me. If I'm cutting up a sheep or a goat, I only go through 1 or 2 blades, but the Havalon seems to work well. If for whatever reason I misplace this or lose it, I always carry a backup knife. I have been in situations before where I've left knives before, take out a piece of salami, start cutting it up, and then go shoot a deer, and then realize, oh crap, I don't have a knife. So I always carry 2 with me now, and the Havalon and a backup. This is just a Benchmade, but man, whatever works for you, as long as it's sharp, it'll be just fine. In addition to that, I usually carry a Silky pocket saw. These guys are made in Japan, and they work well for cutting branches, but also cutting the rib meat out, cutting bones. I like to bring the whole rack of ribs out with me, and yeah, you can take the rack of ribs off with your knife. It's a little more time consuming. I just like to saw the ribs out and take that whole rack back, and it seems to cook up a little better, hold together a little better, and I think you get a little more meat out of it as well. So good backup for camp saw if you need to cut willow brush, cut alders, whatever it may be to, you know, get a fire going, but also great for processing. Now headlamp, I just use a Petzl, and they are light. They're, I don't know, maybe 30 bucks or something, but I've had this guy for years. It just uses AAA batteries, which I'm a big fan of, and you can just carry a spare 3 batteries with you on your hunt, and you'll probably never need to replace them, but they're there if you need it. Another pro tip for these Petzls, any kind of headlamp you get, I've had issues in the past where they turn on in your pack and they end up dying on you. I know a lot of headlamps now have lock features on them. I don't trust those. So what I like to do is just take the batteries and flip them around. So no matter what you do, this thing isn't turning on in your pack. And the batteries stay nice and charged, and it's ready for you when you need it. You just pull it out, swap the batteries around, and off you go. Now getting down to the end of things here, but this is my Camelback, and it's a 70-ounce Camelback. I'm a big fan of these guys. The nice thing is it's a nice wide mouth, so you can just dump it in a stream and fill up water quick, and then you have water with you on the go. You need a lot of water when you're doing these hunts. Take up a lot of moisture. I usually throw some electrolyte mix in there as well, but you know, I just like the ease and accessibility of having a hose sticking out of your pack just to get your water. So a lot of different brands that offer this kind of stuff now, but Camelback's been working well for me. I've had this guy for 10 years probably. Now for hiking poles, I like to use these aluminum Black Diamond poles. These guys are getting pretty worn out and they'll probably need to be replaced, but I've had them for a few years. The nice thing about aluminum is it bends and it doesn't shatter like a carbon would. Yeah, it's a little heavier, but the beauty of these guys is you can abuse the crap out of them, which I do. I've certainly have broken a few of these in rocks before, but I never used to hunt with poles before, and starting in 2020, I started to bring poles with me and never looked back. So whatever you use, just make sure it's collapsible, something you're comfortable with and that you like, and I'd recommend aluminum, but you know, you do you. All right, guys, this is coming down to the end of it, but getting into my medical kit. I usually carry a tourniquet in here. This is for really bad wounds. Someone's hemorrhaging really bad and you have to stop the bleeding. Having a tourniquet's going to be a great medical piece of equipment to have. Also in my kit, I usually carry some blister repair, a little bit of athletic tape for taping up ankles, hurt wrists, whatever it may be. Ibuprofen, a little bit of Advil, and also some high-octane painkillers that I've gotten from, the hospital in the past. And those are for the really bad days where you broke a bone and you're hurting really bad and you need something to help you out. So a lot of different things can go into a med kit. Mine's pretty simple, but I like to keep it light and usually carry a few Band-Aids in there as well. So, all right, last but not least, I usually carry a titanium cup and then a little plastic bowl and then just some bamboo utensils. This one has little chew marks on it. I left it in camp and the little ground squirrels came out and chewed it up on me. Bastards. Thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate your time. And if you have any further questions, something I didn't go into depth and enough on, you want more detail on, let me know and I'll do my best to answer those. I appreciate you guys' time here. If you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button if you guys want me to make more of this kind of content, I certainly can. And I'll see you on the next hunt. All right, guys, take care. Happy New Year.